Okay. Okay. Hi guys, how you doing? My name is Jacqueline Francis and welcome to another episode of Stop Sweeping It Under the Carpet. Now, last week I started an episode with regards to domestic abuse, a commission report that came out in the Borough of Barking and Dagenham. So that was part one, where I had my guest Dimple sharing her story. And so today I have Nadine Khan, who is part of the survivor panel who contributed to this report. So please, if you do have any questions or any comments, please do put it in the comments box. And Nadine, can I just ask you to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Nadine. I'm part of the survivors panel for the Borough of Barking and Dagenham.
Okay, so first, let's just start off. Why was there a need for this report in Barking and Dagenham?
I think because the rates were very high. The domestic violence rate were really high in the Borough of Barking. We were the highest out of all the local boroughs. So they needed to investigate to see why, to bring the numbers down, to see what they could do.
Right, okay. So for you, you said that you were part of the report, and I guess being part of the report was you sharing your story. So Stop Sweeping Under the Carpet is for women and young girls and men, whoever, who have experienced domestic abuse, to share their story, because it's an epidemic, really, within a pandemic, if we're totally honest. And we seem to be going through this revolving door, but we want to come to a point where women feel empowered telling their story, and also once they tell their story, they'll empower other people to tell their stories as well. So can you share with us, Nadine, your story? How, when did your abuse start with you?
My abuse started with my boy's dad. I was with him for a total of 15 years, but it was maybe a few years into the relationship it started. It'd be more like verbal abuse at first, and but I didn't think anything of it. We were both young. I already had a child when I got with him, and then from there it just went. I don't know. I can't even say I know exactly when it started, but it started, and it'd be like a hit, a slap, or something, and the verbal abuse, or smashing something, or something that I'd bought, it rip it up, calling names, and that him trying to embarrass me in front of people, a lot of that. And I just thought maybe, it's part of the relationship. This is, sometimes you got good and bad and that. And we used to speak about it and try and work on it. But what I didn't know is that he was using a drug. And obviously that triggered him. And that wasn't because I grew up with him. So that wasn't the person he was.
Right.
So with that, it just, yeah, we went on, and it just got worse and worse. There was points where we'd split up for maybe a year, or we'd live separately, and we would try again. We would realize that we missed each other. We'd talk about things, how to progress, and it just didn't work. And I tried to help him, obviously, because of the drugs he was taking. He wanted help. He used to come to me to cry. He said he wants to change because he was never that person before.
Right.
And you know what, we're in this together, so it's meant to be like when you're in the good and when you're in the bad, like when you're high and when you're low, you got to ride it through together. So let me try, but that trying didn't help me. It put me in a situation, to put my kids in a situation.
So
And
can I just interrupt you a minute there?
yeah,
Jessica, thank you. Well, welcome, thank you for joining us. I think you've got your phone on or something that's quite loud. So if you can put it on mute.
It's on mute.
Okay, cheers. Thank you. Sorry, Nadine, can you go back and
okay. So I moved from Hainault to Barking and Dagenham, and I think it was my neighbour that used to call the police. I never used to call the police, but there was a police officer that would attend every so often, and he would always like chase me, like, let's press charges, I can put you into a refuge, we can get this sorted out, you don't deserve this, but I never did. And I'd end up taking it back until one time, then he really went in on me, and the police were called, but the laws had changed, so basically what they could do is press charges themselves. I didn't have no control over it.
Right.
And that's what they did, and it flagged up to social services, and because of the severity of it and his criminal background, obviously their duty was to safeguard me and the children. And obviously at this point I I've worked for children's services for 15 years, and I've worked in like several different boroughs. So at this time I was working for another local borough.
Right.
Yeah, from that I ended up going on to child protection. Had to go through the other. I was on the other side of the fence basically, but I wasn't against the social workers because I know what they do, what they're like, what they're there for, what they're trying to achieve, and I they were really good with me. They supported me really well, and it's them that helped me to get out of the situation I was in. They believed in me, and they pushed me. Yeah, I mean, sometimes people talk about bad stories, but like you do get a lot of bad social workers, but it's like you get bad police officers, you get bad teachers. They put it all, but I was just really lucky. And yeah, I mean, I just gave him permission to see the kids. I never stopped him, but he never engaged. So from that, then they had put changes in place that I had to follow. I had to move and do a lot of other stuff, which I did. And yeah, I've just carried it on from there, basically.
Right.
This
Okay.
August is 8 years free from domestic violence.
Right.
I've achieved a lot. My kids are happy, healthy, and doing really well. I'm proud of them all.
Well, let's just stick a pin there. Let's stick a pin there and move on to Jessica. Thank you very much, Jessica, for joining us. So I was just saying earlier on that you are part of the survivors panel, and you contributed to this report in terms of sharing your story. I'm getting a bit of feedback here. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine, yeah.
Okay, so if you have your phone on or any other device, can you switch it off, please? Because it's feedbacking. Okay,
there's nothing else on.
Okay, so Jessica, can I just ask you? You were part of the commission report, so can you share with us your experience of succinctly of domestic abuse?
Yeah. Hi everybody. My name's Jessica. It's been quite recently actually for me. I'm a survivor. It's only been like 4 months that I've been free from domestic violence.
Right. Okay.
So it's really fresh for me, and I'm new to it as well. Never ever been involved in any type of abuse or anything like that. But it was a very terrifying experience for me. I live on my own and I have no children, so it was very terrifying for me. And it started to become like very controlling, and like there was nights where I never slept. It was financially abuse. I even had like sexual abuse as well. I had all of this.
Did the abuse start at the beginning of the relationship, quite soon after you got together? Did you know him first?
No, I didn't know him. I just like randomly met up with him, and then we started going out quite straight away.
Right.
And then it happened like within the first like 4 or 5 months of us being together. But I was with him for nearly 2 years, sorry.
Okay, right. Okay. 2 years. And so in the 2 years that you knew him, are you saying that it started straight away?
Basically, yeah, within the first like 4 to 5 months of us going out, yeah, it started basically straight away, yeah.
Right, okay.
And then it just got really like bad, like, but I just kept going back thinking maybe it's gonna get better, it will be all right, you know, but it just kept getting worse.
Yeah, and that's what I'm gonna ask. I mean, some women, I mean, maybe Nadine can jump in as well, but I know some women have a tendency to go back. What was your reason for going back each time?
To be honest, I feel like it's because that I liked him and I loved him and I wanted to maybe try and work things out and think that, you know, maybe I could help him in some type of way, but it just wasn't helping. It wasn't working. It just got worse every time. And then police was called and I dropped a couple of the charges because I was scared, and I got back with him. And then, yeah, it just kept going on and going on. It was just like, how many more times can it go on for? Like, the next time I might be dead, or do you know what I mean? So I just had to put a stop to it. And then in January this year, I just left him and I couldn't take no more. Like, it got to like, it was getting bad where I was on the street and he was spitting in my face. And Nadine thought the way how me and Nadine even met was I was in Barking side. Sorry, I'm shaky a bit right now. But I was in Barking side, and he literally abused me in the street and pulled my top, and all my breast was literally hanging out. And he got his phone and started recording me. And Nadine and her friend stopped in a car, and that's how me and Nadine met.
Right. Okay. So Nadine, did you experience the same thing when Jessica said that you kept going back? Did you leave and come back at all?
Yeah, I made him leave several times. We were together
And
for 15 years. It was, yeah, it was a lot. I've lost count of the amount of times we separated and got back together. And I mean, but we had kids because
mm,
I've got 4 boys with him. We had
mm,
kids, and he wasn't that person before. This is obviously I grew up with him, so we had like from childhood, so I knew how he was, and it was like
mm,
he realized what he was doing was wrong, and he wanted help. So it was I was trying to help him to get back to where he wanted, but then in the end, it was like he didn't. He wanted the help, but he didn't want the help because
mm,
I was the one that was suffering. The kids were suffering.
mm,
So yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, I did love him, but I should have
mm.
come out of that a long time ago.
Right, right.
Thought
It
it
is
was love
difficult.
keeping, but I think
It
I
is,
was more scared.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It is difficult. If I can just quickly recap, there's a couple of people that jumped on. Thank you, Ahmed, for joining us, and Charlie, thank you very much, from India, joining us. Sadia, thank you also for joining us. She says, hi, Nadine and Jessica, happy to have you with us. You're all inspirational for the world. I'm sure so many people are going to have some inspiration watching you. And I hope so. I hope that they'll be inspired by your stories. And if they find themselves in particular situations such as yours, that they'll be able to come out of it. Who else have we got? We've got Parul. Oh, thank you, Parul. Thanks for joining us. Jessica, lots of love for you. What you're describing is being experienced by a lot of women who keep going back to their abusive partner. It is inspiring for those women who are still stuck to give them some courage. Yeah, absolutely. As I just said,
I think you definitely need courage, and that you need
yeah.
to be strong, because that's I think one of the biggest regrets. If I could change something, was coming out of it sooner because of the effects it's had on me, my
Mm,
children, and it's just not an effect for just a year. I mean, I'm 8 years free from it now, and I still. Yeah, I still have a lot of effects from it. A lot of things I've changed in a lot of ways. It's made me be certain ways, act certain ways, feel certain ways.
mm, mm,
That confidence and things like that is mentally draining as well. So
mm,
yeah.
mm. Right, okay. So, Jessica, can I just ask you, um, if, okay, you said it happened to you quite recently.
Yeah.
So, how are you feeling right now? Because, I mean, it's raw. Do you know
Yeah,
what
to
I
be
mean?
honest, yeah, like I still feel like it's still there, if that makes sense. And I'm still getting, like, I'm not 100% myself. I am going cancelling myself and
Mm,
certain things. And
mm,
I've recently give up one of my jobs because of the way I've been feeling. And yeah,
mm.
I'm just trying, you know.
Of course, definitely, definitely. Nadine, you, I mean, the children, I mean, they are the witnesses to all of what goes on in the household, and some people take it for granted that they don't see anything or they don't hear anything. Were your children around when the abuse? Well, they were obviously. I mean,
The old
did you
two,
think?
they were around it. When I say they were around, they were in the house. They were they were sleeping, but still I
Right.
know through studies that it still gets into their head if they hear it in the house during the night. But the
Mm,
3 younger ones, they were too young, like they were babies. Like the twins are going to be 9 this year, and Kaylin's going to be 11. So when at the times they were really young, but my
mm,
daughter and my son, especially my son, it's had a major effect on him. He's had a lot of anger issues and a lot of hate towards his dad.
mm,
So he's had counselling, anger management. He's still getting supported now.
mm,
But
mm.
he's still doing a lot better with it. But it's not nice the effects it has falling back.
Right. Okay. So please, guys, do write your comments in. Thank you for those who've done it so far. Join the conversation. Ask any questions. I'm sure the ladies will be kind enough to answer your questions for you. Angela says, or did I read this before? Domestic abuse is a big problem nowadays. Even we find it with educated people also, of course. Why they do so, are they less satisfied? Are they unhappy, or they are insecure by the partner or the other members of family to whom they do so? I mean, it's true. I mean, you can be anybody. It doesn't matter who
Yeah.
you are. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Domestic abuse doesn't pick and choose who
Mm.
they're going to abuse. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? So which one of you, or I think it was both of you that mentioned financial abuse. In what way how did the financial abuse come about? Was that
So
you?
my one was basically my ex-partner stole my TV from my house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I reported that to the police, and I
Right.
showed them the receipt and everything because it was on my bank card and I purchased it. And they said that they will do their works to try and find it, but I haven't heard anything from them.
Right.
So,
And Nadine, did you experience financial, and in what capacity?
Yeah, I went through every aspect of domestic violence, but with the financial, it was taking money, and he didn't support me financially with the kids. So you work, so you get paid. You got money to sort out the kids, but he wants his kids to look nice and the house to be nice all the time. So his money was his money. But when he wanted money, like he would take my purse, go to the cash point, say what he wants, or say, "Oh, let me borrow this. It'll be all nice." Because I've got money at home, I'll get it for you. And I'll be like, "But you still got, But yeah, you just win me over every time and never get it back." And it was the things where he would smash things in the house. So instead of me moving forward to progress in the house, I'm going backwards to replace things in the house.
Right.
Plus, like he's coming to help himself to anything in the cupboards. Like it was second home, but financially draining on me because I had the kids to support. I mean, our last two boys are twins, so everything was double everything, and it was just me. So with everything else, it was a financial strain. Especially when he would take my money or take things from the house.
Yeah.
And you're having to replace it, and you want to buy this for the kids and do that. You couldn't do it. It was hard.
Okay, I'm just going to show a couple of comments. Thank you guys for joining the conversation and leaving your comments. I've got Anne-Marie Richmond. I'm sorry, Jessica, but there is something going on there because I'm just getting a load of feedback.
I can hear it too, yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening. I don't know.
Okay.
Recording myself.
So Anne-Marie says, beautiful soul sisters, I have so much admiration for both of your journeys. And thank you for that, Anne-Marie. And Agnes, thank you, Agnes, for joining us. Hello, beautiful sisters. Thank you very much. Keep rising, Jackie. Thank you so much, Anne-Marie. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, yeah, I mean, as we said, domestic abuse does not discriminate. We have seen during the lockdown period that it has escalated. Both of you have been contributors to this report that Barking Dagenham has launched, because in that area you say that's the highest rate of domestic abuse compared to other local authorities. So how did you, other than your story, were there any other contributions that you had to make, or how did the panel come about?
The panel members are ladies that have resided in the Barking and Dagenham area that have been involved with social services, children's services, on child protection in that Barking and Dagenham area under the London Borough, Barking and Dagenham. So they wanted a group of ladies that have been experienced, that have been within the borough, to give something back, because they knew we wanted to give something back.
Right. Okay. There's one more comment here. Sardia says, beautiful legs. I kept wondering that. I'm sorry, I really can hear this feedback. Let me see. I don't have my earphones with me. I thought it was a problem only when within a specific region or subcontinent. Rather, it is a global challenge for the ladies. And I have seen that women, most of the time, are suffered from women. Thank you, Jacqueline Francis, for taking our volunteering and hearing us. Thank you. I mean, yes, I've been doing Stop Sweeping It Under the Carpet for a long time. Okay, I'm going to stop it there because it's really annoying me how the amount of feedback that I'm getting.
I can hear it as well, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, can I just ask you to come out and come back in?
Okay.
And see if that will make any difference. Yeah. So I've been doing Stop Sweeping It Under the Carpet for a long time now. So, and women have openly shared their stories with me. So I'm quite grateful for that. I don't know if you know anything about during your experience, the term gaslighting. Are you familiar with that term, gaslighting, at all?
Yeah, I've come across it quite a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering if you can explain to our viewers and our listeners what that term means, because it's rarely used openly, but it is something that is abusive or intimidating or controlling. So could you explain to us what that means?
With my ex-partner, he used to threaten that he was going to tell social services that I did this, like make up lies about me, go and tell my dad like stuff, so my dad would stop talking to me. That's how I know gaslighting. So it would be like it would just like start something, he'd go and like to cause problems, but he would never go and head and do it. He would say that if I called the police, that he would tell them that I was the one that started hitting him first and throwing stuff, and and that's why he was trying to calm me down, and that's how. And one time he did say that to the police, and the policeman kind of believed him. And I was like, "But you came here before, and he was a really big guy. So to me, yeah, it was a lot of trying to put me into a situation, telling lies about me, and like a little threats, basically.
Right. Okay. I mean, a lot of the time, gaslighting is the idea of trying to make you go crazy. Did I do that? Did I say that?
Yeah.
And you start questioning yourself. You start doubting yourselves, isn't it?
I still do it now, even no matter what I do.
Really?
I'll go to somebody else, say, this is a situation, or I'll show them messages, and I'll be like, do you think I did right there? Or do you think I'm doing the right thing? And they'll be like, yeah, I always have to question myself. And it's stuck in me now. I can't help that, and I hate it.
So Jessica, we were just talking about gaslighting as you went off. So did you find in your relationship that you started to question yourself? Was it me? Did I do that? Did I say that?
Yeah, I was feeling like constantly on edge, and feeling like if I done something awful, or something awful might happen, and I'm constantly questioning myself to why is this happening to me? Like, am I doing something wrong? Is there something I'm not meant to be doing, or But really, it wasn't me. It was him, and he was constantly manipulating me, putting me down, calling me names, and yeah.
Okay, so Agnes, thank you for the strength to talk about these bad experiences. We all can learn from you all, and we certainly can, because with you guys sharing your story, then there may be somebody out there that's saying, oh, that happened to me, and how did they get through it? Because I'm stuck, and I want my life back, really.
Yeah.
Let's have another look. Ahmed, thank you so much, guys, for commenting on this topic, which that I'm quite passionate about, and I try to speak openly about domestic abuse and invite women on to share their stories. So Ahmed is saying, unfortunately, many men avoid to advocate this issue directly and believe that it's kind of their right to abuse their partner or wife. And I understand that. I mean, what do you ladies think? Men think, okay, because I'm married, I'm in this relationship, that, you're my wife, so I can do anything I want, almost treating you as if you're property.
Yeah.
Nadine,
I felt like that as well. And there was even a time where I was just in a taxi, and I was getting a taxi to my mum's, and my ex-partner actually tried to come and attack the taxi driver because I was sitting in a taxi getting dropped off to my mum's.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Nadine, what do you think? Did your partner think, well, you belong to me, I can do anything I want for my property? Did you think that you had that right?
No, of course he didn't have that right. No one has a right to put that. It doesn't matter who you are. You don't. That's what I try and teach my kids and the boys. You don't hit each other. You don't have a right to put your hand on anybody. No one does. No one deserves that at all. And I talk to it. So I say to them, talk. Like, if you can't get on, come and find me. We'll sort it out. But you can't put your hand on anybody. No one deserves that. I don't care who you are. And you're not a prize, or a bracelet that goes on their wrist. So it's not about them treating you like that. I mean, they've got mothers, they've got sisters, daughters, female family. How would they feel if there was their guy putting their hand on them and treating them like they wouldn't have it? So why do they think they can do it to someone else's daughter, someone else's sister, someone else's mother? No way. I'm really dead set against it now. And I used to stand up for myself and try and walk away from the situation. made a pact that if when arguments started, then one of us would go in another room or go for a drive or a walk, and then there'd be times where I'm thinking, well, you're meant to be going and he's not moving, so I'll go, and then I'm opening the front door and he's grabbing me from behind, and then it would just start from there. And yeah, it just.
So while you're trying to de-escalate, he's trying to escalate.
And we've agreed to do. He's escalating to something else. Things, and yeah, so.
Okay, so we've got another comment from Adali. I hope I've pronounced your name correctly. You are right. Even many times it's happened with me, and at that time I am unable to cope up with that. I think she meant cope with it. Yeah, it can be very difficult times, and I think you're right. You know, would they do that to their mothers, to their sisters, to their nieces? You know, have a look. We lost strength sometimes when we need more. That time we face emotional challenges more.
Yeah, definitely. You get drained.
Yeah,
it drains you.
absolutely. I'd like to thank you all for your comments. We're actually coming to the end now. That went very, very quickly. But Nadine, I wanted to ask you, because of the report that's come out now by Barking and Dagenham, and moving forward, I don't know if you're privy to what they're going to be doing moving forward, but they've come up with a list of 7 outcomes. And one of I'll list them, and maybe you can just comment. Either of you can just comment.
I think the best person that would know this information would be Katie or Pat, because it's been there from the start.
Okay, but
my best.
Okay, I mean it's quite straightforward, really. I mean,
they're the ladies. They're the first ones in.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they know a bit more. Not throwing you under the bus, girls, but you know.
So I will be interviewing them next week. So, yeah. But outcome number 2 is talk about healthy relationships and young people. So I want to ask, really, what more can be done, if anything's been done at all, to educate? Because the whole idea of Stop Sweeping Under the Carpet is to create awareness and educate and to empower women and girls.
I think with us, we're creating a safe space. We've been given a place to use by Barking and Dagenham, and at the moment we're sorting out the layout, but we're going to be running sessions, doing different things, and also we've been talking about incorporating the children that have been affected by domestic violence as well, doing creative writing workshops with them, something musical, to make them express themselves, because it has affected them. So we'll be working with other females like us, and then when they're coming in, they can relate their stories to us. They'll realize that we're the same, you know, that it's okay telling somebody, but nobody really truly understands how you feel and what you've been through unless they've been through what you've been through. Because it's when people say, "Oh, just get your stuff released," and I don't know why. Yeah, I say that.
Yeah.
It's not.
I can't even explain how it feels. Like it's just. You're just held there.
It feels as if we've been re-victimized. That's what they say.
It's just crazy. So you know what's, but then when you come, like even with meeting the girls that I'm on the panel with now, and I've done some previous group work for domestic violence awareness, and I done as a radio podcast, and I got 2 ladies reached out to me like through DMs, and we now speak and do sessions as well, and like research more into domestic violence and get, you know, understand it a bit more, because there's some things, even though I've been reading, it's like, you know, I didn't realize that was an effect that I've put on me now. So I'm still learning now, but it's about getting to the younger ones as well, like trying to deliver sessions in schools, working with the schools, so they can start learning the signs, and that's for both like young boys and young girls. They might be at home and then they can pick up the signs with their parents. There'll be life skills for them to pick up along the way, so they don't get caught up like how we did and think it's kind of like the norm.
Jessica, do you want to comment on that? What more?
Yeah, I feel like going into the schools and educating the young ones will be good, you know, as a survivor as well, to let them know what we've been through and just to watch out for what's out there, basically. Yeah.
So anyone who works in education, or you know, works with a group of young people, you know, we have 2 lovely ladies here who's willing to come into your premises, your educational institution, and share their skills to create education, really, and to create awareness about healthy relationships.
We need to spread that awareness to the young people, most definitely, and educate them a bit more.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
my uncle's a lecturer, and he's always said to me, it's also good to have like the qualification or the degree or the masters, but you see, when you've actually been through something and you can give that back and proper relate and connect with somebody else, so get them to that relaxed point that they feel safe and secure to have that connection with you, and that will help people more than just having the degree or that paperwork to say, yeah, I've done that course kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think we must also point out that, yes, domestic abuse, we ordinarily, or we generally talk about abuse within relationships, but it does happen within families as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Family members. So we must also point that out. So just because we're talking about partners, husbands, wife, husbands and boyfriends, it does actually happen within family members, by the parent or the sisters. That was my experiences, or the mother or something like that. So we must be mindful that we're not just.
Oh yeah, there's different aspects. Especially we want to get the males to be a bit more open because of their pride and what other people will think. We need them to, because their rates are very high, but they're very under the carpet, and we need to bring them out.
Yeah,
and make them realize that they haven't done anything wrong. So you're not going to be judged. No one judges you. People support you, and we're here to help, and we need to create awareness for the other people so they don't feel how you did. So
Exactly.
we encourage that with the males a lot. We do.
Exactly. Okay, so Valerie, thank you, Valerie, for joining us. Nadine and Jessica, you are extremely brave women. You are indeed. And another one from author Janelle Victory. Thank you very much. So sad it's getting worse. But we're here talking about it, and the more that we talk about it, we're hoping that it will empower women and girls to step up and recognise, because sometimes you don't know that it's abuse. Do you know what I mean? So, when you mention what's happened to you and your stories, you think, oh, well, my partner does that. Oh, is that abuse? Do you know what I mean? So it's also educating and creating that awareness. And Agnes, I'm so proud of you all, sisters. We need to talk about this more, and that's what we're doing now. Thank you very much for those comments. We have actually come to the end of our interview. Thank you so much, Jessica and Nadine, for joining me. Thank you to those who made comments. Please do share the video as well, and please do not suffer in silence. And if you can just give one message, starting with you, Jessica, one message to somebody, what would it be?
To believe in yourself.
Okay, and
to love yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Nadine?
I just want to let people know that there are a lot of places that you can go to be safe. There's like Boots, a lot of chemists, hospitals, a lot of these supermarkets. They've created safe spaces so you can go there and like you're going shopping. You've told your partner, so you can make that escape and you can get that help. So please try and use these resources. And there's refuge as well. Like reach out. These ladies are here to support you, and you're not by yourself. Like you need to get out of it, and that would be the best thing that you could do in life.
Because I know sometimes it can be quite frightening, because especially when you don't know where to go, but making that first step, and as you've done it, you said exactly what I would have said, and please do not suffer in silence.
Suffer in silence.
Okay.
Also,
like taking it for so long, just get out of it as soon as you can. There's so much help there.
Sorry, Jessica?
Yeah, also I've got a domestic awareness group that I created called More to Life. So if anybody's interested in signing up, feel free. It's a group to raise awareness and to inspire others.
So that'd be great if you just put that in the comments box when we come off air. Then that would be great. So thank you once again, ladies. Thank you so much. So we'll be doing part 3 next week with Kathleen and Hayley. So I look forward to that.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. No problem. Thank you for coming on. Take care.
Okay. Bye.